Hey, everybody, welcome back to the For Your Period podcast. You never know exactly what we're going to be talking about, but you know it will be cycle related. It could be about working out with your period, loving your period, or relationships with your period. So hang out with us, learn something new, and have a great day. We're so excited to have you here.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the For Your Period podcast. It's me, Anna, solo again because I've got one of my new friends here, our second guest of the season, Jen Harris. And so she is here to chat with us. It's me and Jen. We're going to be talking about all kinds of goodies, so stay tuned. I'll edit that out. Okay, y'all. This is Jen Harris. She is. Hold on. My screen is doing something funny. Okay. Hey, y'all, this is Jen Harris. She is a certified non-diet health coach who specializes in a non-diet approach to eating and body image. Her approach helps women break free from food obsession and body image pressures. Oh my gosh, what a saint. She works with women who are ready to get rid of the stress, guilt, and overthinking around food. I mean, this is gold. This is gold. And they just really want to stop obsessing over their weight and incorporate movement that they enjoy back into their lives. So, welcome, Jen.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Jen and I met in a marketing course we were taking, and she starts talking, and I was like, "Holy shit, our women are the same. The people that we love and want to help are the same, and so we've got to figure out a way to collab and work together." So I just had to get her on here talking about women, how they should eat, especially later stages in life, breaking out of different mindsets that we have around food and body image and all of that good stuff. So, Jen, how did you get into, a non-diet coach? I've never even heard of that.
Well, so it's crazy because I spent my whole life shrinking my body, right? It is something that I grew up in a household. My dad was fat phobic, and then the messages are all around us, right? And I was a heavier kid, so I jumped on board. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to have the small body. I wanted to get the boys. I wanted to be in the cool club. So all of that. And I spent 25 years chasing that small body and doing it in crazy ways that were very unhealthy until so I worked in the weight loss industry for about 10 years, right? And so that like of course I have my own issues, but that's making me even more obsessed, right? Like I am deep in it. And towards the end of my career, I started noticing like this isn't right. Like something's not clicking for me. And working with the women, I mean, they would lose the weight, they'd put the weight back on, they'd be so filled with so much guilt, so much stress, so much frustration, and they felt horrible about themselves. So I just really, once I started seeing it, the red flags were everywhere. And at this point, I was a fitness director, personal trainer at an all women's gym and I had to remove myself. And it was really disheartening because I loved helping women because I thought that weight loss is important. That's what we've grown up. We don't challenge it, we don't question it, we just do it. So I'm thinking I'm providing a very good service to help women feel better about themselves, but
Mm,
realizing it was just doing the exact opposite. So I took a step back from that career and I was lost for 8 years. I didn't know what the fuck. I was like, okay, I went into selling supplements. I was in retail management. I didn't love it, but it was like I didn't know what else to do until finally I started searching. I was like, I really want to help women again, but I didn't know how. And everything that I was searching for was food plans. It was all, we all know what to do with food. Okay. Most of us know what we need to do to lose weight. We know how we're supposed to eat. We know we're supposed to exercise. And I refuse to do that kind of coaching with women again. I don't want
mm,
to be a person that's handing these plans to women where they fail and they end up feeling like shit about themselves. And then miraculously, I found this non-diet certification and I have never heard of such thing, but I searched. I mean, it wasn't like an easy thing. I was diligent and, search and search. And then it came. It was like, wow. And there it was. And I said, okay, this is what I need to do. And that's where I ended up where I am. It actually helped me kick out my last little bit of my eating challenges and my fitness challenges and my body image challenges. And I also got certified to help women through cognitive behavioral therapy to do the same. So long story
Oh,
short, that's how I ended up here.
that is beautiful. I noticed as you were telling your story, there seems to be a common theme in women's lives where we drink the Kool-Aid and then we finally spit that shit out, right? We're like, wait a minute. Like, do you mind telling us, like, how old were you when you had this realization?
Oh yeah, no problem. So I was 30, probably about 34.
Gotcha.
34. And I didn't jump right out. I was stuck heavy in it, but I was trying to work my way out, you know? But
Yes.
it really didn't click until I got outside help from the right kind of approach. So I tried therapy, I tried everything. I prayed. I mean, I did everything to try to cure myself of this. And it wasn't until, completely full circle, I would say a couple years ago, like a year or two ago, it all came full circle. So,
Mm. Oh, I love it. There's, yeah, I see, we talk to so many women, right? And obviously we are women and girl moms and all of those things here at the agenda period. And there's something that happens in your mid 30s where you either kind of, there's like a fork in the road, right? It's like, okay, I've done this for so long, I'm going to keep doing it. Or it's that fuck this shit moment. We're like, no, this is
mhm,
wrong. What have I been doing? Let's turn this ship around. So I think I
mhm.
just metaphors, but it seems like that's what happened for you too. Like, what was your biggest struggle once you realized I'm done with this, I'm starting this?
I had restricted my food for so long and I had over exercised for so long. I honestly, it sounds like so easy to somebody that doesn't struggle with, but I had no idea how the hell to get out of it. And I tried. And then I hit a point, I was probably 38, 39. So this is like 4 years already trying to kind of work out of it. I went to a weight neutral therapist. It's health at every size. And I went there and I got scared. She's like, how would this sound? It was like food heaven, fitness heaven. It was like all these things that I wanted.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm going to be 100%, and I'm going to just be super vulnerable. She was in a heavier body, and I was still very thin. So having her like tell me this dream, but coming from somebody in a heavier set body, I fucking ran. Like I showed up to 2 appointments. I did. But I mean, I was like scratching at my jeans, and I was like, I can't do it. And you know what? It took me a couple years to come around, but now I'm 30 to 40 pounds heavier. I could care less. I feel better in my skin, but it just goes to show how ingrained that shit is. I wanted it so bad, but I couldn't bear putting on weight in front of it was really for the people around me, for my husband, for the group that I was in, for my work, because I was still in a very health heavy focused position. So to gain weight in the surrounding that I was, it was fucking scary, right? And
Yeah.
that took a while for me to warm up to.
Wow.
Mhm.
I'm having like a visceral reaction to what you're saying because I completely understand it. I think we as women, we're taught so much not to listen to the cues from our body, hunger cues, pee cues, tiredness, like fatigue, like pain. We're taught to just squash that down and forge ahead that you don't even recognize your own voice anymore. And then you are
Mhm.
afraid of food and you are afraid to go pause your work to go pee. Like we stop listening to
Right.
ourselves.
Absolutely. And the thing that, you know, the waking thing is just looking back at it now, like I realized it was really vain. I hated that my dad was fat phobic. And, we as women, we have so many expectations. So not only the mothers, the work, but we're supposed to work out and do this. We're supposed to eat perfectly. We're supposed to do this. And, it's like, I don't know, like you said, you come to a point where you're like, you either keep doing it and be miserable for the rest of your life, or you say, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah.
And you know what? I knew I was going to gain weight because I knew I was heavily restricting and heavily overexercising. So it was inevitable that I was going to gain weight. I knew it.
Hmm.
But you know what? That desire to get out of that trap became stronger than that desire to fit in.
Wow. So tell me about the mindset shift that had to happen because in our society, skinny is healthy, it's happy. The smaller you are, the healthier you must be. So if I
Hmm.
put on weight, then I'm unhealthy, and then I'm at risk
Hmm.
for all these other things, and then I'm not going to be as appealing to the male gaze, and then I'm not going to fit into this cute like what type of mindset shift or gymnastics did you have to go through? I know you said like what 4 years. Like, tell me about that
Yeah.
process.
It wasn't really until I worked with the non-diet coach, and she lives in a larger body. And it wasn't until using cognitive behavioral therapy that really
Mm,
was a switch for me because I had done therapy. I mean, nothing was just hitting that mark for me. Nothing was, and I just felt like there was something out there. And it wasn't until I had her living in a larger body, her using the cognitive behavioral therapy on me to challenge my beliefs
mm,
and challenging my beliefs and questioning what's important to me.
wow.
We don't do that.
No.
We're people pleasing, and most women are people pleasing.
Yeah. Most of us don't know what's important to us because we're just taught to exist for other people's needs.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely.
So how
So it's
do
discovering, like, excuse me, I'm sorry, it's discovering who you are. Because I think
hmm,
a lot of women come to this point, like, who am I? And it's really actually doing that process. Who am I?
wow. Because when we answer that question, we start to say, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a this, I'm a teacher, I'm a coach. And we list our titles, we list our roles in relation to other people. But to know truly who you are in relation to just yourself, it
Mhm.
changes you from a human doing to a human being. Like it's okay to just
Right,
be here.
right, right. But we don't
Oh,
know who that is. We don't
no.
know because there's so many layers. We get
Yeah.
into this mold when we're young, and then a lot of people never come out of it.
Yeah. And especially if you're getting these messaging from your dad, um, that is like that's the ticker tape that's running in the back of your head. That's your
Mhm.
identity. And this is somebody who loves you and cares about you. So shouldn't what they're saying be what you listen to? Like, good gosh.
Mhm.
And I'm so glad you said therapy because
Mhm.
how do we differentiate leading a healthy lifestyle and how did let me rephrase that. Do you feel like the lifestyle you were living in a smaller body was unhealthy?
Absolutely,
How
100%. Mentally I was fucked up. I was so, people don't talk about the mental chaos that goes around with disordered eating.
mm,
I had anxiety, so it's always the thinking about what I'm going to eat. It's always calculating in my head, well, I had this, I can't have this. Well, I had this, I've got to work out or I've got to cut back. It's always it's depressing because I was in a point where I isolated completely because I restricted so much. So because I was restricted with my food, I could, but I didn't allow myself to eat what other people were eating. So I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't have a social life. I was socially withdrawn. I would say the biggest thing is the mental destruction it did. But I will say that I also, from a health perspective, I did lose a period for 2 years.
so with all of that like bubbling underneath, you still probably looked good in all the pictures. You could put on that cute little dress. You could hop in a bikini and go on a vacation. Like you weren't outwardly looking like all of that was happening on the inside.
No, no, I was traveling. I mean, I was living the life. Like people, they thought I was living great
Yeah.
because, yeah, I did wear the nice clothes. I was traveling all the time. I was busy. I was always doing something. I was always checking out new places. I mean, I would even have people say, "Wow, you do so much," and it's like, yeah. And now I look back and think about how exhausting. I mean, me just trying to maintain that small body
Mhm.
consumed my whole day because I'm exercising almost 2 hours a day. I am tanning. I had to have the whole look going on. So it just it consumed all of my energy, and
Wow.
there was no time for much else.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So I just lost my question because I am in perimenopause and I lose questions a lot.
Me too. I'm like, what am I doing? I forgot. I literally just had the thought right there all
Days
the
like
time.
heavy brain fog day in my late luteal phase. So you
Yes.
said you lost your period for 2 years?
Hmm.
And to a lot of people out there listening, they're like, that'd be a dream. I'd love to not have a period.
Hmm. Hmm.
But if you listen to anything that we say over here, your period is your report card. It lets you know how healthy your body is, how it's functioning. It sends all kinds of signals on, your sleep, your diet, your hydration, your nutrition, all of those things. And when you're not getting a report card for 2 whole years, what were your thoughts? Were you happy to not have a period at the time, or were you concerned? Did you see your doctor? Like, or were you just lost in the sauce?
Yeah, lost in the sauce. I lived my life in denial and pushing everything under the rug. So I just ignored it. I don't think I told anybody. I just, yeah, kind of just acted like it wasn't happening.
Yeah. And so now you help women who experienced the same lifestyle as you did, that were going through what you did. Tell me who you work with now.
Okay, so my situation is very extreme. So I help women that have done the whole dieting thing. So for most women, they go on and off diets. I always say you almost have to make a decision to cross a line of going on an eating disorder, right?
Mhm.
Because you have to be willing to restrict more. You have to be willing to, you have to do things that are not healthy for your body. And most women don't cross over that threshold, which is normal and which is like, yay, right? But then they think there's something wrong with them. So they go on this yo yo cycle of on again, off again, trying something new, all of these things. So these are the women that I work with that
Mhm.
have spent their whole life trying to shrink their body, yo-yo with their weight up and down, tried every fitness plan, tried all of the fads and trends for food, have a poor body image. Body image is a very sensitive subject.
Yeah.
And I would have told you I didn't struggle with a body image because I had the body, right?
Mhm.
My body image was fucked up. It was fucked up, so I don't think a lot of women connect those pieces, that there's a huge body image issue. But of course, doing the work, we get into all of that and help clear that energy of releasing the standards and ideals and feeling confident in their skin no matter what size they are. But yeah, it does take some work. But yeah, those are the people that I work with and the women that I work that have been there, done it, and they've made a decision. They don't want to diet, they don't want to do it anymore, but they don't know what the hell to do because
Yeah.
they've lived their life by a plan and now they have no plan. So am I doing it right? What am I supposed to do? And so they literally are lost and oftentimes find themselves still struggling it with, even probably more so, kind of with that all or nothing thinking, because they're lost in all of the advice and expert, yeah, all the gurus out there telling us, oh, this is the next thing, oh, well, maybe I should do, so they get very clouded and aren't very clear with that path on really releasing all of the food and body image stuff.
Oh, yes. And when you and I met, I was super excited to chat with you about like phase specific eating and movement and things like that. And if that's something that you're thinking about incorporating in with your system, on how, our caloric needs change throughout the month, our sleep changes, our needs change throughout the month, and how that plays into, a healthy lifestyle and a non-diet diet, I guess. I don't know.
Mhm. Well, absolutely. And so my approach is a very intuitive approach. I would love to align it with what you do because it works out perfectly. Mine is, instead of, okay, you get this plan, you do it 5 days a week, blah, 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 blah. Mine is you check in. What
Mhm.
can my body do today? Maybe my body is at 40%, but I give it 40%. And you know what? That's your 100% for the day. I think that's
Yeah.
actually a quote.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so But it's taking where you're at and with no judgment, with no guilt, with no should-haves, and regret or whatever. So yes, I would love to pair that with your what you do, because even with food, I have women that are like, "Oh man, I was doing so good. I was doing my shakes. I was doing this," and then I went totally off my food plan, and then it went to shit. And then, and that's usually like we were talking about the week that they need more calories, right? And I've even talked to women that have went to nutritionists, and that's what they've told them, but it
Mhm.
doesn't register because
Nope.
we're so ingrained with what we're supposed to do that we don't even realize that as women, our bodies have different needs than men.
Yes. We are not
I
little
mean,
men. Like every
no,
study that was out there about BMI and caloric intake and deficits and all of that stuff was based on like a European man, okay, who didn't
right,
need 89 to 289 more calories a whole week out of the month. That's 25% of that month you should be eating more and
right,
moving differently. And it's hard because we get this messaging like get up and hustle and
mhm,
grind and do and before the sun and like our bodies aren't made that way, so teaching women how to lean into their intuition and what their body is calling them to do. Like I've been on this weightlifting program, and the week before my period my body's like, yoga please, let's do some yoga. And it was
yes,
hard the first month. I was like, but I'm gonna fall off. Like once I
yeah,
pick back up the weights, I'm gonna have to work my way back up to where I left off. And I don't know, I'm gonna power through. And the first time I tried to do that, I had heavy cramps. I was super fatigued on my period. So the next cycle, I said, you know what? Let's just listen to what she's telling you. And it
hmm,
was the easiest, breeziest period because
yeah,
my body had what it needed. And I was still able to lift what I was doing before. I didn't lose my gains. You know,
right,
I didn't fall backwards. And I told myself, like with this program that I'm doing, I'm not going to weigh myself or do any type
yeah,
of before and after for a whole year. Like
right.
that's 12 cycles that I want to go through and adjust accordingly. And most programs are like in 90 days, you can you can fit in two dress sizes down or whatever. And
Right.
if I would have held myself to a 90-day standard, I would have felt like a failure 60 days ago.
Right. And that's why these plans they're destined to fail.
Yeah.
And end up showing up 100%. You do the yoga, you jump right back in where you were. You start listening to your body. Some days I'm like, shit, I wanted to lift, but I just need some mobility work. You
Yes.
know what? Then the next day I'm on it, and maybe the next day I'm ready to do my weight training. So it's that fear in our heads, and what we've been told is you off the plan, you fucked up, you gotta start over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Complete bullshit. We're brainwashed on all of that.
Well, you have a big offer right now. You have a new
Mhm.
program that you've just launched. Has it launched yet?
It's launched. Yes, it starts next Monday, June 16th.
Okay.
It's called Fit for Life, and I work with the cognitive behavioral therapy that we were talking about earlier. I use this to help with women really get to those negative thoughts, those blocks that are getting in their way. It's all those shoulds, right? Those
Mhm.
I should be doing this, I should be doing that. So getting all that junk and getting to the bottom of what's holding them back so they can clear that and start taking action towards goals that fit them intuitively. And they
Mm,
can start showing up 100% in coaching to help them overcome those battles that are going to come up in their head, because they're going to come up in their head. Coaching is action based. So we take you where you are, and we're moving forward. Okay, this is what you got going on. Okay, we're going to work getting that out. What's your next goal? What do we got to do to get there? So yeah, so it's Fit for Life. It starts next Monday, and it's a 4-week program. It includes group coaching once a week and check-ins and help building your fitness routine.
okay. Well, this is airing a week after it started. So can
Okay.
people join whenever? Are they gonna have to wait for the next round? Tell me how they can hop
Okay.
in.
I could do that. I could it might not be like a group kind of thing, or if I have enough people interested, I could do a group. let's just go, like the whole thing is going with the flow, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm cool with going with the flow. If a person's interested, I could do it that way. If I have a group of women, either way, regardless if it's a one-on-one or group, you're going to get the benefit from it. So
Nice. So enrollment doesn't close on a specific date?
it does close this Saturday, but yeah, like I
Okay.
said, I can offer that beyond that period. So
Well, by the time everyone hears this, there's going to be enough of y'all that want to join again, and she will let you know when the next session is coming. But we are going to tease
mhm.
this on socials because this is so important. It's such good work that you're doing. Um, just reclaiming our intuition. As women, we are just taught to just be small and be quiet and
Mhm.
to ignore and avoid and to give with
Right.
without much expectation of return. And this seems like the perfect program for women who are needing to say fuck that and let me
Yeah,
reclaim my badassness because I
that's
know
right.
what I need. My body is good. She is
Right.
working really, really hard. Like your teeny tiny body was working so hard to stay alive for you.
Amen. Oh my gosh. Yes, overdrive for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
she was working hard for you, and
Yeah.
the body that you're in now, she's working hard for you, and she's good and she's healthy, and
Mhm.
I just love that that is the kind of like the mission of what you're doing is that allowing
Mhm.
women to reconnect and reclaim their intuition.
Well, and the biggest piece women don't realize, and I didn't know this either until it happened, is that junk takes up so much mind space. You don't have time to focus on anything else. But as a result of this work, things start unfolding for you. So other areas in your life that you were starting to feel stuck, maybe it's a job, maybe it's a relationship, those start to clear. You start to become so much clearer in different areas in your life where you just felt like, oh, I don't know what to do. So it opens up that space in your brain for more clarity in other
Mm.
areas that you've been struggling with as well.
I love it. And again, that's our overlap as well too. Once you start building boundaries in a healthy way around your health and around your mindset and around your time, like you just completely show up on this planet in your full self. And that's I mean, that's all we want from everybody is to just be the best version of who you are
Right,
and whatever size that body that is, whatever size is on the tag of the clothes that you're wearing,
right.
whatever. That's the least interesting thing about you.
Right, right. You can still live your life today. Like, don't hold off on that vacation. Don't not wear that bathing suit. Live your life. Don't let your body stop you from living your life.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Jen, how can people find you? Where are you? Online?
Okay,
Like, what are your
online. I Instagram. It's Jen underscore. No, excuse me. The underscore Jen Harris, and that's my primary is Instagram. So
perfect?
the underscore Jen Harris.
Awesome. Well, you guys can find her on the gram. We're going to tag her socials in the show notes and as well as her new program. Tell us the name of your program again.
Called Fit for Life.
Fit for life. Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, Jen, thank you so much for spending time. Y'all, you can, if you're only listening, her backdrop is amazing. She's in Mexico. She's an expat and living her whole best life over
Yeah.
there. And I'm just so glad that you carved out some time to chat with us today.
Oh yeah. Thank you for having me. It's fun.
Bye, y'all.